Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. TIMA members in Malaysia conduct house calls for care recipients to help patients who have mobility problems. Tzu Chi volunteers in the United States hold celebration ceremonies for graduating Tzu Ching and Tzu Shaos. And people of all ages who attend a special Tzu Chi class in Kaohsiung learn practical lessons on environmental protection. In Malaysia, TIMA members pay visits to care recipients to check on their health. Recently, a group conducted a medical home care visit, ensuring those who suffer from mobility issues get the necessary treatment. TIMA members also explained the patient's medication dosage and what foods they should eat to keep healthy, to ensure everyone's taken care of.
Malaysian TIMA members use their days off to visit care recipients in Penang. During their visit, the medical volunteers measure the patient's blood sugar and blood pressure levels, as well as observe their use of medication.
是去了3个个案，中有2个个案。
In total, we visited 3 care recipients. 2 of them were victims of a car accident or other injuries that left them bedridden and can't return to the hospital for rehabilitation. The other is a severe diabetes patient who had festered wounds and an amputated leg.
First-time participant Tan Ik Shen is a physiotherapist. He is here to teach the care recipient some simple rehabilitation exercises they could do to strengthen their ability.
I'll encourage them to move and stretch. If they can strengthen an area like their legs, then they might have a bit of hope to return to normal life. They don't have to be totally reliant on their family.
The team also made sure the family members was in good health, as nothing is more important than safeguarding the health of all sentient beings.
In a related story, TIMA members in Malaysia also visited the Rohingya Refugee Center to give children free vaccinations. During the visit, they discovered a boy who has a sarcoma. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers scheduled a surgery for the boy.
Among the sounds of children crying, Malaysian TIMA members are giving Rohingya children vaccination shots. This boy, who is nearly 2, has caught the doctor's attention as his left shoulder has a sarcoma larger than the palm of an adult.
We discovered the sarcoma when he was 3 days old. It was still really tiny then. But when he was detained by immigration along with his mother, it grew larger.
Upon discovery, TIMA doctors immediately take a closer examination.
We suspect he has a genetic sarcoma. We need to do a scan first and perhaps a biopsy. He might need a specialist like an orthopedic or even a rhinoplastic surgeon to take a look.
Tzu Chi volunteers also visit the boys' home to further find out about their financial situation so they can better assess how to help this family in need in the days ahead.
Staying in Malaysia, an infant boy from a Burmese refugee family was born with cleft lip and palate. As his family faces financial difficulties, they cannot afford a surgery. After learning of the news, TIMA Dr. Liu Chi Kong decided to perform a surgery for this child for free.
Walking through dark and narrow alleys, this medical team finally arrives at this Burmese refugee's home. TIMA Dr. Tang Hui Jian checks the health of Sudais prior to the surgery. Mohassan has been living in Malaysia for 8 years. The family of 5 relies on his meager income of $250 per month to live. His youngest son was born with a cleft lip and palate, causing him to have a hair lip.
I've already been to the Ampang hospital. After giving my son a checkup, the doctor said that he needs to undergo surgery. But I don't have extra money. I cannot afford to pay for the surgery. I also asked UNHCR for help.
If we delay his treatment, it will be too late. We should help him undergo surgery before he reaches 1 year old.
After finalizing the dates of surgery, TIMA daughter Liu Ji-kyung will take on the mission.
We can sew it and fix it so that it won't slip off. Otherwise, when he bends his arm, it will slip off.
Dr. Liu has a wealth experience in performing surgery for cleft lip and palate sufferers, and he is willing to perform surgery for children for free. However, on the day of the surgery, he found the support frame was too long, so the on-site volunteers helped him adjust it. As the health condition of Tzu Chi This is quite unusual, it will take him 6 phase period to undergo surgery. The first phase will aim at his hair lip and upper jaw.
Dr. Liu will help him solve the problem of hair lip. He will sew the muscles to the proper position. This way, his lips will look normal.
Being pushed into the operating room, Tzu Chi's innocent expressions show that he does not know it is just the beginning of his medical treatment. To make him feel at ease, Tzu Chi volunteers will always be there to accompany him and care for him.
In Penang, Malaysia, lives an 84-year-old paralyzed woman who lives alone. Although her neighbors bring her meals, they could not help her every day. Eventually, Tzu Chi volunteers step in to help her.
Chong Kum was able to crawl around to take care of her daily needs, but she fell 2 months ago and became paralyzed.
In the past, I suggested she move to a nursing home. I said I'd take her there, but she said she wouldn't. Now she can't get out of bed. I can't help her all day, so I asked someone to help her.
Kaohsiung, who lives nearby, comes often to help her by bringing her food and cleaning up her home. When Tzu Chi volunteers heard the news, they also come to wash her hair and bathe her, so to look after her health.
See how fortunate you are. So many people came to see you and also wash your hair and bathe you.
She was never married. How long has she lived here? She has lived here for 20 to 30 years.
With help from volunteers and her nephew, Tzu Chi has agreed to move to a nursing home where she can enjoy the rest of her life.
Also in Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteer Lee Ka-moy, who died of breast cancer, promoted vegetarianism before her passing. During her life, she seized every opportunity to serve and get certified as Tzu Chi volunteer. Although she passed away in May of this year, she's remembered by all the people around her.
I read the book, Being at Peace. Therefore, I think that life is impermanent. You don't know when you came to the world. Birth, aging, illness, and death are also natural.
Facing her illness with ease, Lee Ka-moy from Langkawi does not have a word of complaint.
I'm grateful that Tzu Chi has held this memorial service for my sister. The volunteers have given her companionship and care during her last days.
After Lee was diagnosed with cancer in 2015, she still actively promoted vegetarianism and even invited her employees to adopt a vegetarian diet.
She taught me a lot, including thinking for the poor people.
Now that she is gone, there is only one thing I can do. I should study well and graduate.
Although Lee's health conditions worsened in October of 2016, she still traveled to Taiwan to get certified. She even volunteered at Daling Tzu Chi Hospital.
I vow that if I can get better, I will do Tzu Chi's work well. I will diligently walk the Tzu Chi path. I'm grateful to Tzu Chi brothers and sisters for their care and companionship. Thank you.
During the graduating season of June, the Tzu Chi volunteers in the United States held celebration ceremonies for graduating Tzu Ching and Tzu Shaos. Let's take a look.
The Tzu Chi headquarters in the United States held a celebration ceremony, attended by Tzu Chings from 8 schools in Southern California. The ceremony was lively and warm. Graduating Tzu Chings expressed their gratitude to their Tzu Chi family.
I have family here.
I have my family here. I'll never feel alone, because every time I see Tzu Chi aunties and uncles, it's like meeting my own family.
For Tzu Chi volunteers, it was an honor to take care of Tzu Chings while they were here.
For 3 years, they motivated themselves to do a lot of things, including visiting nursing homes and McDonald's house, cleaning up the beach, and participating in free clinical sessions. I feel quite proud of it.
University of Texas's Tzu Ching Club held their farewell party at the Tzu Chi liaison office in Austin. Tzu Ching served hot tea to Tzu Chi volunteers. Their participants reflected upon the good deeds they did in the past. The Tzu Chings are sad to part with their Tzu Chi family.
Who treat me like I'm her daughter?
I was like your daughter. How do I explain this? I feel sad whenever I mention my aunties and uncles from Tzu Chi.
And also, all of the
I would also like to thank Tzu Chi aunties and uncles. They were like my parents.
The Tzu Chings in Midwest Los Angeles prepare food themselves. Before they depart to their respective universities, the Tzu Chings will also bring along love and compassion provided by Tzu Chi volunteers.
Effort every week for all the events.
Thank you for your arrangements. This moment belongs to the aunties from Tzu Chi.
Some of you guys I know pretty well.
There were some people I am familiar with. There were some people I am not familiar with, but we are like a family.
As students enter another chapter in life, the affinity between them and Tzu Chi volunteers will remain.
To help the impoverished people in South Africa, Tzu Chi volunteers have combined winter aid distribution with the Buddha Day ceremony. This year, the Buddha Day ceremonies in Ladysmith have benefited more than 1,000 families in need.
Among the 5 emerging national economies, South Africa is the only country with negative economic growth. Zulu people are spiritually wealthy despite their hardship. In Ladysmith, local residents face difficulties in life, especially in Ambawang, where many people from Lesotho work illegally or scavenge for a living.
I don't have legal status in South Africa or work. My daughter works as a maid for people for little pay. My kid and I often go hungry, and when necessary, we ask our neighbors for food.
Tzu Chi volunteers have invited care recipients, as well as the teachers, students, and parents from 7 schools they help build to the Buddha Day ceremony. They also distribute aid supplies at the occasion. Seeing the bags of rice, the children are excited. Being well fed is a luxury for them. This 14-year-old boy's hands are deformed. He cannot attend school nor work. The supplies will help sustain him for the winter.
It is my first time seeing this kind of function here. I've just arrived in the school and I've seen it's a huge difference. Here in South Africa, not only at Stingolwazi Primary School, here in South Africa, the Tzu Chi Foundation is doing a lot to eradicate poverty.
The local Tzu Ching is working as the MC, showing how the next generation in South Africa has started shouldering responsibilities.
In Jakarta, Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteers promote recycling to reduce garbage. Because Indonesians love drinking coffee, many coffee bags are discarded every day. Therefore, one volunteer converts those discarded coffee bags into mats or other useful items.
Tzu Chi volunteers do recycling in communities to reduce garbage. Residents bring their recyclables to volunteers at a fixed time. What Amy brings are discarded coffee bags, which will be given new life by volunteer Nilalatni.
Volunteer Neela Ratni inspired us to turn discarded coffee bags into useful things. When I met her, she had been doing it, so I told my friends to collect coffee bags for her.
Neela Ratni got her inspiration by watching someone turning used coffee bags into artwork on TV, so she also gave it a try. She now teaches people in the park about how to make them into useful items.
There's so much garbage in Jakarta. I felt it would be nice if I could turn these coffee bags into useful things.
Neela Ratni gives away the city mat she made to friends and Dharma masters. When she heard someone was teaching people how to make shopping baskets in the shopping plaza, she went to learn how to make them. She now makes them to promote recycling to the public.
In Taiwan, a special class in Linhya community Kaohsiung held their outdoor class at Kaohsiung's Chings Hall. While there, they got a practical lesson on environmental protection. Among the participants, the youngest is 5 years old and the oldest is 97. They learned to cherish goods by creating things themselves and also visited an exhibition.
The students make plastic bags which have been cut into long strips into flowers by rolling them. The class allows grandparents to be closer to their children and grandchildren.
I accompany Grandpa out or he'll just stay home. It can become boring.
Slowly, his memory will regress, so I wanted to bring him out.
I like coming here because I can't make flowers at home. After I came here, I've learned how to make flowers.
Students from a class in Linhya community in Kaohsiung. They came together to find family joy. The eldest student in this class is 97 years old.
I'm so delighted to see you here. Thank you very much for helping us.
They said to hug someone, and they all came to hug me. It felt quite good. You see, this was a very simple wish for these elderly. We then realized having this physical contact and interactions with other people are their simplest wish.
They also visit an environmental exhibition and learn about global warming through what really happened. It allows the families to expand their caring from each other to the environment.
Having the means to donate isn't just a privilege of the rich. Next, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer Lai Wusong from Yunlin, who's celebrating his 100th birthday this year. He lives with simplicity in mind and saves a majority of his money for charity. Meanwhile, students at Taichung's Fengyuan Junior High have adopted and donated 1,000 coin banks to help Syrian refugees.
Centenarian Tzu Chi volunteer Lai Wusong is in good spirits as he watches the performance and claps along. Singer Wang Zhongping sings happy birthday, especially to celebrate Mr. Lai's special day. Mr. Lai scrimps and saves his money so he may donate all he can to Tzu Chi.
My knee isn't well. I can't exercise much, so I can't get out. But I can donate money and be an honorary board member to help those in need.
He follows the master's teachings and watches the master's sermons. He was moved to donate $1 million NT to become an honorary board member. This is what I admire about him.
Mr. Lai's daughter-in-law Huang Chunying mentions that their entire family is involved in Tzu Chi, and doing good deeds while being respectful of the elderly is their family's belief. Fengyuan Junior High teachers and students are also filled with the same type of compassionate love. The entire school adopted and is looking to fill 1,000 bamboo coin banks to help Syrian refugees.
Our class is using our class funds to donate what we can to help them.
You can donate 1, 5, or 10 NT dollars a day. I think the Syrian children can feel our love.
They donated the money they have saved for a month as their compassionate deeds are filled with blessings.
In our next report, we meet an 80-year-old Tzu Chi volunteer from Singapore, Luo Mingshui. After his retirement, he seizes every moment to learn and serve others. Now he works at the Singapore Tzu Chi Free Clinic as a certified pharmacist 2 days a week. To better communicate with the medical staff and patients, he even takes English lessons.
After identifying each item, this Chinese medicine pharmacist dispenses the prescription with great care. He has been serving as the Singapore Tzu Chi Free Clinic for 5 years. To make a living, this 80-year-old man once worked as a vendor, a truck driver, and a taxi driver when he was young. He has become a certificated Chinese medicine master and herbalist after retirement.
My health condition did not improve after seeing the doctor, so I decided to learn many things. Originally, I thought it was just a memory. I never thought I could practice what I had learned.
Besides serving as the free clinic, he also works at Tzu Chi Rehabilitation Center. To have good communication with the nursing staff and patients, he also takes English classes.
First 1 to 2 months, when he follows me, he couldn't understand even a word. So during our journey in the past, he will start writing few words of basic English, 1 or 2 words, he pick up from there.
Master Zheng Yun said if one can do good deeds for 1 day, then he can learn for 1 day. Human beings have unlimited strength. It is never too old to learn.
Nominated by Buddhist Compassion Relief, Tzu Chi.
This volunteer receives the Healthcare Humanity Award from the minister in honor of his endless devotion to the needy over the past few years. Though he's already 80 years old, he sees every moment to study sutras and walk the Bodhisattva path.
In the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers in Portland, Ohio, recently paid a visit to elders living in a senior apartment. In addition, children from the Tzu Chi Academy also performed a play to raise environmental awareness.
Visiting the seniors, the volunteers speak Mandarin. In addition, Portland's Tzu Chi Academy students also put on a play, teaching the elders to reduce their use of plastic bags. The students sing and dance.
I like Tzu Chi very much because I think it truly serves the world, not just serving us Chinese.
Portland's Tzu Chi volunteers have come with a handful of programs. The atmosphere of gathering is lively and warm.
It is inconvenient to go to your place since we have to bother you to drive us there, so I appreciate you coming here.
For the volunteers, the seniors' laughter is their best reward.
In California of the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers recently held a scholarship award ceremony at Tzu Chi Liaison Office in El Monte, giving out scholarships to 41 students in need. At the occasion, the scholarship recipients also share their aspirations for the future. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.